Okay, hi everybody. Okay, it is said that Plunet Gym program has been developed because of a Stillman request. So I am here to share my experiences with you, the experiences of all my team with Plunet Gym. So this is our agenda now. We are going to do a warm-up phase. So we are going to prepare ourselves by doing some gentle exercises. Yes, you are going to move. Then we are training. I'm going to talk a little bit about our training experience, and then stretching and relaxing our brain muscles and make them flexible. Right? So this is what we are going to do. A question will appear there in the screen, and you're going to see two possible answers, right? So you have to pick one and perform the action, right? Don't be scared, just simple actions. Okay, first thing. So how important do you think training is in our lives? So if it is very important, look up. And if it's not important at all, look down. Okay, all people looking up. Wow. Thank you. Very important. Okay. Next one. If you have to choose one option, would you prefer to, if you have to choose one option, you cannot choose two, train your brain or train your body? Okay, mixed. Okay, good, thank you. Let's go to the third one. Okay, when training your brain, what's the most effective technique? Do you think alone, or do you think it's thinking in group and sharing ideas? So you left hand up for think alone, and right hand up if you share ideas. Okay. Okay, you share ideas a lot. Okay, nice. And last question. So, how much creativity do you think this industry demands? So, lots of new ideas, just disco dancing, and no creativity, you clap your hands. Okay, many people dance here, but some claps too. Okay, thank you. So to sum up this warm-up phase, so training is, and also to be on the same page, training is important, and training our brain and body too, it's equally important. In the end, brain is inside our body, right? And thinking alone against thinking in group, well, you have chosen thinking in group too, and that is what our philosophy is about. On creativity, okay, I think that this industry particularly wakes up a lot of new ideas just in our teams and in ourselves too. So to start with the, and you have all won our seal of approval, that it's so cute. So to start sharing with you our training experience, I have chosen, well, I read a lot, you know, I studied literature. I'm a proofreader, a bilingual technical proofreader, and I love books. And this is one of the last I read. I have it here if you want to take a look. This book talks about innovation and thinking outside the box, and suggesting ideas not only to solve problems, but also to save lives in some instances. So when people reflect on what it takes to be mentally fit, the first idea that comes to mind is usually intelligence. The smarter you are, the more complex the problems you can solve, and the faster you can solve them. Intelligence is traditionally viewed as the ability to think and learn. Yet, in a turbulent world, we know all about this, there is another set of cognitive skills that matter more, the ability to rethink and unlearn. Right? So Plunet platform, as all here, is our main system, our main source of information, right? And we use it to make decisions and plan strategies, right? That is why it's so important to us to have customized tools that adapts to our department needs. But what about those needs? To identify those needs, all of us need to be humble enough to say what worked yesterday or a great idea that we have yesterday, it's not working now anymore. And we have to accept that, and it's okay. We can think about something else. So rethinking assumptions may imply accepting resources and processes are not longer useful at the present time. So we have to keep thinking and rethinking again. And that activity of thinking and rethinking, and also in a group, make us keep our minds flexible and adapt to new scenarios. I'm not alone. I came here on behalf of my whole team. And that team, I'm very proud of them because they are so diverse and they have so different ideas. They have all different backgrounds, and that is very rich. But we need to jump that cultural bias we have to get to in agreement, to work together, right? So I never think alone. I think that no one does. And when we have a problem or a comment or something to consider, we gather up and practice collective thinking. Collective thinking is seeing one thing from very different perspectives. And we have all our team here, marketing, from operations, from vendor, from all the company there, right? So I usually work with managers a lot, but I know for sure that they use this methodology in each department too. So what we do is follow more or less these structures in our executive team meeting every Thursday morning. Right, so we introduce a topic, we ask questions, we explore different options, agree on actions or processes to test. Each member assumes ownership of each of the tasks and implement and check if worked. I want to share how to introduce a topic and ask questions. We use a methodology that is called 1-for-1, right? So the person bringing the topic or the question or the consideration have only 1 minute to explain. Because if we give more time to that, it starts making excuses or start explaining a lot of things, right? So just 1 minute for a title and a very brief explanation. And then the team do not brainstorm, just ask questions. And they should not cheat. They should not say, have you considered doing that? Okay, no, that's not a true question. They have to ask a true question. And the last minute is for the person who asked or bring the topic to choose the best questions are the questions that opened their minds, right? And it's very effective, and some issues have been solved with this technique. So I challenge you to experience this. So according to our Plunet experience with the Plunet Gym program, it's been a great input method to information, and we have had the opportunity to give second thoughts on processes and to analyze situations all over again, or properties or text modules or whatever, all over again, so we can be on the same page and share thoughts with managers, right? So before moving forward to the examples I brought today for you, I really need to thank you very much to Simona, that is our Plunet trainer, and to all the support team, because they are there for every silly question we should ask, and sometimes we see ghost bugs in all over Plunet, and they are not there, so, well, thank you very much to all. So, okay, here. Business department needed to clearly identify the orders that involve tests for new prospects. So first solution of us there back in time was adding an inbox, in the inbox, adding just a flag. And that didn't work because the inbox it was only one user and they need to share this information, so it didn't work. Then they made an Excel or a list, but it didn't work because it was not in Plunet. We couldn't use filters for that, so it didn't work either. And Excels and other things that are not inside Plunet, other documents, may duplicate or triplicate information, so it's not worth. So the question was how we can centralize every information in Plunet. So the second solution was to write tests on the order description field, so the team can filter that word and gets what they need. But the problem is that we use in the description field of the order, at the order level, the subject of the email, so the client sent to us. So to link email with the order, right? So some of those subjects had the word test or testing inside and it was not related with a new service or whatever. So it didn't work. So we came up with these two properties. One is a property and the other one is a text module. It's very simple. We just add test result and fail or pass. And in the text module, we have new account, new client, or, I mean, the reasons. This one shows the reasons for, or the main reasons for, we have new account, new client, new language pair, or new service, right? So it was interesting. Here. The interesting about this example is the solution covered not only the business department need, but other departments that didn't know at that time how useful it could be this property of the text module, for example, or the property itself, right? So the production department also uses that property to filter and get KPIs for how many tests have we passed, or what are the teams that received more tests. And the QA department also had that KPI, that the passing score rate. And well, we developed new material according to that. Some processes are followed by a test passing, right? So we develop material and processes after that. And also, the vendor team has an opportunity on these options too, that are very easy to configure, but when we pass a test, we receive some instruction from client, and some clients prefer to work only with certain linguists, maybe certified linguists, or only linguists that pass that test, right? So vendor department can check on that and group the resources. Which lead me to the second example, right? Second example is grouping resources. For us, we have like 3 main types of accounts. A general account, it's a request that can go to anybody that matches the variables in the database. A dedicated account, that means, for example, an account that has a lot of, a very long style guide, a lot of instruction, specific material that should be sent along with the delivery, etc. So to translate 2,000 words, a translator should read a 50 pages style guide. They won't do that. So we created this dedicated account group, so people there know what they have to do, right? And the exclusive account, in this case, is the case I have just mentioned. For example, a client requests, how do you say this? A group of people that passes a test, that uses certain tool, and they give credentials for the linguist to work on a certain platform. So we can choose. The client is that says, okay, you have to use these people. This is an exclusive account for us. So Challenge here was to create a simple method to let PMs assign projects for these scenarios quickly and accurately. Right? So first option where, of course, PMs memorized the list of the resources. Of course, it didn't work because that's in the head of an individual PM. The second option, of course, was another list, maybe Excel, maybe Word. It didn't work. Because it was not part of Plunet, we cannot filter it. And third option was creating resource groups that we could use those filters until we moved or were upgraded to Plunet 8. Right? So when that feature is not longer available for Plunet 8, so as our PMs were super fans of resource groups, when we upgraded to Plunet 8, we created a property that it's called Linguist Resource Group, and allows PMs to identify dedicated account and exclusive accounts. But that's not enough, because some of our exclusive accounts have different price lists, right? Because they were trained specifically for that. So we use also not only the property, but the customer account property. Not only the linguistic group property, but also a customer account that you can link the price list, right? So the interesting thing here, it was that managers should all work together to make PM's life easier, right? And an extra mile QA and production team work together to create order templates and job templates linked to specific instructions, as Shannon said. And, well, that was an option. So my third example here, I'm a little ashamed of this example, because it's very old. But it worked, it really worked. So, before we implement the Plunet QA module, and even before having Plunet, we needed to identify our freelance linguists according to their quality, right? They were able to provide. So we trained translators, not only PMs, we trained translators or proofreaders, and we needed to identify the jobs that they perform to run an extra step for the QA team, right? So this process usually includes feedback and everything. At that time, Olympic Games were on, and we came up with a ranking expired in the games, and it was called the Olympic Game Logic to Assign Projects. And it was very fancy. Linguists were ranked with bronze, silver, and gold medals according to their quality, right? For example, and we made agreements on how we should combine those linguists, right? So, for example, 2 bronze linguists' quality was not enough, and they needed a QA revision, a deep QA revision and feedback. But 2 gold linguists were top quality, right? Well, it was like that. Interesting fact here was that the Olympic logic was assigned, the category was assigned by the QA. I was in the QA there, and it was very subjective. It was my opinion or my partner's opinion. But QA module give us the opportunity to have objective opinion, objective scores about that. And well, for example, here in the resource assessment, we just changed the name and put Olympic logic there, and we used the stars to identify the linguists. So 2 stars for bronze, 4 stars for silver, and 6 stars for gold linguists. And we can use that to filter and to identify them, right? So, again, this is an example of how Plunet could be a reliable source of information to make decisions, even for PMs to assign a simple project. Right? So, rethinking assumptions in time, as Adam Grant suggests in his book, is key to act instead of react by challenging assumptions made of previous knowledge taken from previous information. We develop the skills to, again, develop, implement medium and long-term solutions. So hopefully I have inspired you with these examples to solve the following problem. So let's play this final game. So you have to move one matchstick to get a number between 3 and 6. So the interesting fact here is that, no, I won't say this. You have to solve it first. Okay, any ideas on this? If you have already done this before? Sorry. It's 3 parallel matches. Any idea? Go.
Oh,
Josh.
Oh, Josh, of course.
Hello? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I love logic puzzles. I think you have to move the middle matchstick, so it's Roman numerals 4, is that right?
Which one? The middle, you have to put it?
Yeah, the middle one, so if you shift that over to the left, does it not make a 1 and a V? So it's like a Roman numeral 4, is that not?
Well, that'd be...
Or is that a different solution?
A different solution, yes,
Okay.
in fact. Yes.
Wow.
Okay, we have one more option. May I reveal this mystery? Okay. Go. Yes, Charles.
More?
Can you move a matchstick that's not actually in the drawing and move it into the drawing to make 4? No? Okay.
Everybody thinking out of the box here. I love it.
Yes.
There's one more over there. One more try.
One more try.
You could put one of the matchsticks on top of the other two and make pi, which is between 3 and 6.
Perfect.
Oh, the
you very
developer.
Yeah, it's pi. Thank you. Okay, yes, you have a lot of assumptions made there. First, and based on knowledge, of course, first you have to know that pi is a number, and then the symbol that represents pi. So, yes, it is. Thank you very much. Okay.
Wow.
So this is the kind of inspiration we need to get to solve our problems. It was just one move, and it's one strategic move that makes all the difference between 3 just matching sticks to pi, right? So let's cool down and stretch a little bit. So we have like 3 things to say here. Change is the only permanent variable, and we have experienced this all with the pandemic and the lockdown, and we have to keep flexible and changing. So the second is collective thinking helps to think outside the box, and maybe the box, our own box, mental box, is full of hidden biases that we didn't know it were there, right? So we need to check different sources of information to carry on the whole analysis. And finally, we are all in this together. At the company level, every action or decision directly impacts on our colleagues' lives, right? And the society level, we are all responsible for taking the best possible decisions and to create a better world. Thank you very much.